In the distant reaches of the galaxy, the peaceful planet of Alaris thrived under the protection of the noble Alarians. These humanoid aliens, with their shimmering silver skin and luminous blue eyes, were known for their advanced technology and harmonious way of life. Their civilization had flourished for millennia, untouched by the strife that plagued other worlds. However, the tranquility of Alaris was shattered when the Varnaxians, a warlike race from a neighboring star system, set their sights on the planet's abundant resources. The Varnaxians, led by the ruthless Emperor Zarthan, were known for their brutality and insatiable hunger for power. With their crimson scales and fearsome demeanor, they struck fear into the hearts of those who opposed them. The Alarians, despite their peaceful nature, were not defenseless. Their leader, Queen Leora, was wise and foresight. Having prepared for the possibility of an invasion, the Alarian Council convened, their expressions grave as they discussed the imminent threat. "We must protect our home," Queen Leora declared, her voice steady. "We cannot allow the Varnaxians to destroy what we have built." The council agreed, and preparations for defense began in earnest. Alarian scientists worked tirelessly, developing advanced weaponry and fortifying their cities. Their most prized creation was the Guardian Sphere, a powerful energy shield capable of repelling even the mightiest of attacks. As the Varnaxian fleet approached, the Alarians stood ready. Their cities, once open and inviting, were now fortified bastions of resistance. The sky darkened as the Varnaxian ships blotted out the stars, their ominous presence casting a shadow over Alaris. The first strike came swiftly and without warning. Varnaxian drones descended upon the planet, their lasers cutting through the air with deadly precision. The Guardian Sphere activated, enveloping Alaris in a protective barrier that repelled the initial assault. "Hold the line," Queen Leora commanded, her voice echoing through the communication channels. "We must show them that we will not be conquered." The Alarian forces, though vastly outnumbered, fought valiantly. Their advanced technology gave them an edge, but the Varnaxians were relentless. The battle raged on, the skies above Alaris filled with the sounds of conflict. Amidst the chaos, a group of Alarian scouts embarked on a daring mission. Led by Captain Eric, a seasoned warrior with a strategic mind, they infiltrated the Varnaxian flagship in hopes of sabotaging their command structure. "We must disable their communications," Eric explained to his team. "If we can disrupt their coordination, we can gain the upper hand." Stealthily, the scouts navigated the labyrinthine corridors of the enemy ship. They encountered fierce resistance, but their determination drove them forward. Eric's tactical acumen proved invaluable as they outmaneuvered the Varnaxian soldiers. Finally, they reached the ship's communication hub. "Plant the charges," Eric ordered, his voice tense with urgency. The explosives were set, and the team made their escape. Moments later, a series of explosions rocked the flagship, sending it into disarray. "We've done it," one of the scouts exclaimed. "Their command structure is in chaos." Back on Alaris, the tide of battle began to turn. With the Varnaxians' coordination disrupted, the Alarians pressed their advantage. The Guardian Sphere pulsed with energy, deflecting attacks and buying precious time for the defenders. Emperor Zarthan, enraged by the setback, vowed to crush the Alarians personally. He ordered his elite guard to prepare for a ground assault, intending to break through the Guardian Sphere and lay waste to Alaris. "Prepare for their assault," Queen Leora urged her people. "This will be our greatest test." The ground shook as Varnaxian dropships landed, disgorging waves of soldiers. The Alarians met them head-on, their determination unyielding. The battle intensified, the clash of weapons and the roar of combat filling the air. Amidst the turmoil, Queen Leora and Emperor Zarthan faced each other on the battlefield. "Your reign of terror ends here," Leora declared, her eyes blazing with resolve. Zarthan sneered, his eyes filled with malice. "You cannot hope to stop me," he retorted. "I will crush you and your pitiful resistance." Their clash was fierce, each leader embodying the spirit of their people. Leora's grace and agility countered Zarthan's brute strength, their duel a testament to the larger conflict. The battle raged around them, the fate of Alaris hanging in the balance. As the struggle reached its peak, Eric and his team arrived. having fought their way back from the Varnaxian flagship. "We've returned, Your Majesty," Eric announced, his presence a beacon of hope. "Together, we can end this." With renewed vigor, the Illyrians rallied. Eric and his team joined the fray, their skills tipping the scales in favor of the defenders. The Guardian Sphere, its energy waning, flickered but held strong. In a final, desperate push, the Illyrians forced the Varnaxians back. Zarthan, realizing his defeat was imminent, roared in frustration. "This is not over," he vowed, retreating with his remaining forces. The Illyrians watched as the Varnaxian ships retreated, their threat temporarily abated. Cheers of victory echoed through the air, but Queen Leora knew the fight was far from over. "We have won this battle," she addressed her people, "but the war continues. We must remain vigilant and united." The Illyrians began to rebuild, their resolve stronger than ever. The Guardian Sphere, though battered, stood as a symbol of their resilience. As they tended to the wounded and mourned their fallen, a sense of hope pervaded the atmosphere. "We will not be defeated," Eric vowed, his eyes reflecting the determination of his people. "We will protect our home, no matter the cost." Months passed since the initial Varnaxian invasion, and the Illyrians worked tirelessly to fortify their defenses and rebuild their cities. The Guardian Sphere was repaired and enhanced, its energy fields now stronger than ever. Queen Leora and her council continued to strategize, anticipating the Varnaxians' next move. Despite their victory, the threat loomed large. Meanwhile, Emperor Zarthan seethed with anger and humiliation. His defeat at Alaris had not only dented his pride, but also weakened his hold over the Varnaxian Empire. Determined to reclaim his honor, he plotted a more devastating assault, one that would ensure the complete subjugation of Alaris. Zarthan's advisors, wary of another failure, suggested a different approach. "We must strike at their heart," one advised. "If we can destroy their Guardian Sphere, their defenses will crumble." Zarthan considered this, his mind racing with possibilities. "Very well," he agreed. "We will devise a plan to penetrate their shield and obliterate it." In secret, Varnaxian spies infiltrated Alaris, gathering intelligence on the Guardian Sphere's weaknesses. They discovered that the sphere's power source was hidden deep within the capital city, protected by layers of security. Back on Alaris, the Illyrians remained vigilant. Patrols were increased and security measures tightened. Captain Eric led the efforts, his keen mind constantly evaluating potential threats. "We cannot afford to be complacent," he reminded his team. "The Varnaxians will strike again, and we must be ready." Queen Leora, aware of the growing tension, sought to bolster the morale of her people. She visited the various cities, speaking to the citizens and reassuring them of their safety. "We are strong," she declared. "Together, we will overcome any challenge." Despite their preparations, the Varnaxian spies managed to evade detection. They transmitted their findings to Emperor Zarthan, who immediately began planning the assault. "This time, we will leave nothing to chance," he vowed. Under the cover of darkness, the Varnaxian fleet once again approached Alaris. This time, however, they employed stealth technology, rendering their ships invisible to the Illyrian sensors. As the fleet drew closer, Zarthan ordered the deployment of specialized strike teams, each tasked with infiltrating the capital and disabling the Guardian Sphere. The Illyrians, unaware of the impending attack, continued their daily routines. The night was calm, a stark contrast to the turmoil that was about to unfold. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the capital. "Intruders!" a guard shouted. "The Varnaxians have infiltrated the city." Chaos erupted as the Illyrian forces scrambled to respond. Captain Eric, already on high alert, mobilized his team. "We must protect the Guardian Sphere at all costs," he commanded. The strike teams, highly trained and equipped with advanced weaponry, moved swiftly through the city. Their objective was clear: reach the power source and destroy it. As the battle raged, Queen Leora coordinated the defense from the command center. "We cannot let them succeed," she urged. "Our very survival depends on it." Eric and his team engaged the Varnaxian strike teams, their combat skills put to the ultimate test. The enemy was relentless, but the Illyrians fought with unwavering determination. The conflict reached a fever pitch as the Varnaxians closed in on the power source. Explosions rocked the city, and the streets were filled with the sounds of combat. Eric, leading a counterassault, pushed through the enemy lines, determined to protect the Guardian Sphere. In a climactic confrontation, Eric faced the leader of the Varnaxian strike team. "You will not succeed," Eric declared, his eyes blazing with resolve. The Varnaxian sneered, raising his weapon. "We shall see," he retorted. Their battle was fierce and unyielding, each combatant driven by the stakes of the conflict. As they clashed, the power source hummed ominously in the background, its fate hanging in the balance. Eric, drawing on his experience and training, managed to disarm his opponent. "This ends now," he stated, striking a decisive blow. The Varnaxian fell, his expression one of shock and defeat. "We've secured the power source," Eric reported, his voice filled with relief. The Guardian Sphere remained intact, its protective energy field still holding strong. The Illyrians, though exhausted, celebrated their hard-fought victory. "We have repelled their assault once more," Queen Leora announced, her voice carrying a mixture of pride and caution. "But we must remain vigilant. The Varnaxians will not stop until they have conquered us." The people of Alaris, inspired by their leader's bravery, redoubled their efforts to fortify their defenses. The Guardian Sphere was enhanced further, its energy fields now interwoven with redundant power sources to prevent future sabotage. Meanwhile, Emperor Zarthan, seething with rage, plotted his next move. "We have underestimated them," he admitted to his advisors. "But we will not make that mistake again." Zarthan ordered the development of a new weapon, one capable of bypassing the Guardian Sphere entirely. His scientists worked tirelessly, driven by fear and ambition. Back on Alaris, life continued amidst the preparations for future conflict. Captain Eric, now a celebrated hero, remained ever vigilant. "We must stay one step ahead," he advised Queen Leora. "The Varnaxians are cunning, and they will not rest until they have achieved their goal." Leora nodded, her expression resolute. "We will be ready," she promised. "Alaris will endure." As the threat of the Varnaxians loomed ever larger, Queen Leora sought to strengthen Alaris' position by forging alliances with other peaceful civilizations in the galaxy. She reached out to the Krylorians, a technologically advanced race known for their strategic acumen, and the Zelfari, whose mastery of energy manipulation was unrivaled. Both races had faced the Varnaxians' wrath before and were sympathetic to the Illyrians' plight. Envoys were dispatched to the Krylorian capital, where Queen Leora met with King Thaler. "We seek your aid," Leora implored. "Together, we can stand against the Varnaxians and ensure our mutual survival." Thaler, a wise and cautious leader, considered her words. "We have suffered at their hands as well," he admitted. "An alliance could benefit us all." After days of negotiation, a pact was formed. The Krylorians pledged their support, sending ships and soldiers to bolster the Illyrian defenses. Simultaneously, Illyrian diplomats traveled to the Zelfari homeworld, where they met with High Sage Irida. The Zelfari, with their ethereal appearance and profound connection to energy, were intrigued by the prospect of an alliance. "We have long sought to thwart the Varnaxians' aggression," Irida stated. "Your cause is just, and we will aid you." With the alliance secured, preparations for a coordinated defense began in earnest. Illyrian, Krylorian, and Zelfari forces trained together, their combined strengths creating a formidable force. Emperor Zarthan, aware of the growing coalition, intensified his efforts. The Varnaxian scientists unveiled their latest creation, the nullifier cannon, a weapon designed to neutralize the Guardian Sphere's energy fields. Confident in his new weapon, Zarthan prepared for a final, decisive assault on Alaris. The Illyrians, now bolstered by their allies, remained steadfast. Queen Leora, King Thaler, and High Sage Irida convened regularly, sharing intelligence and refining their strategies. "We must be prepared for anything," Thaler cautioned. "The Varnaxians will not hold back." The skies above Alaris darkened once more as the Varnaxian fleet appeared, their ships bristling with weaponry. Zarthan, eager to test his new weapon, ordered the nullifier cannon to be fired. A beam of dark energy shot towards the Guardian Sphere, impacting with a deafening roar. The sphere flickered, its energy fields destabilizing under the onslaught. The nullifier cannon is working. Zarthan exulted. Their defenses will fall. Panic threatened to spread among the defenders, but Queen Leora's voice cut through the chaos. "Hold your ground," she commanded. "We will not fall this day." The Allied forces rallied, their determination unwavering. Krylorian ships engaged the Varnaxian fleet, their advanced weaponry holding the enemy at bay. On the ground, Alarian and Zelfry soldiers fought side by side, their combined abilities creating a formidable defense. Despite their efforts, the nullifier cannon continued to weaken the Guardian Sphere. "We must disable that weapon," Eric declared, his voice resolute. "It's the only way to save Alaris." A daring plan was devised. A small team, led by Eric and including Krylorian and Zelfry operatives, would infiltrate the Varnaxian flagship and destroy the nullifier cannon. The team embarked on their mission, navigating the treacherous battlefield to reach the enemy ship. Their skills and synergy allowed them to evade detection and infiltrate the flagship. Inside, they encountered fierce resistance. Varnaxian soldiers, aware of the critical nature of their mission, fought with desperation. The Allied team pressed forward, their goal clear. They reached the chamber housing the nullifier cannon, its ominous energy pulsing with malevolent power. "We need to destroy it now," Eric urged. The team set explosive charges around the cannon, their hearts pounding with anticipation. Just as they were about to detonate the charges, a squad of Varnaxian soldiers burst into the chamber. "Stop them!" the Varnaxian commander bellowed. A fierce battle erupted, the confined space amplifying the intensity of the conflict. Eric and his team fought with everything they had, determined to succeed. With a final, decisive effort, they managed to defeat the Varnaxian soldiers and trigger the explosives. The nullifier cannon exploded in a blinding flash of light, its dark energy dissipating. "We've done it!" Eric shouted, his voice triumphant. "The Guardian Sphere is safe." As the nullifier cannon was destroyed, the Guardian Sphere's energy field stabilized. The Allied forces, now bolstered by renewed hope, launched a counteroffensive. The Varnaxian fleet, disoriented by the sudden turn of events, began to falter. Emperor Zarthan, realizing his defeat was imminent, ordered a retreat. "This is not over," he vowed, his voice filled with bitterness. "I will return." The Allied forces celebrated their hard-won victory. Queen Leora, King Thaler, and High Sage Irida addressed their people, their voices filled with pride and determination. "Today, we have shown that unity is our greatest strength," Leora proclaimed. "Together, we will continue to defend our homes and our freedom." The bonds forged in the heat of battle grew stronger, creating a foundation for lasting peace and cooperation among their civilizations. In the aftermath of the Varnaxians' retreat, the allied forces of Alaris, Krylor, and Zelfur focused on fortifying their newfound unity. Joint training exercises were conducted regularly, ensuring that their forces remained prepared for any future threats. Diplomatic exchanges flourished, fostering a deeper understanding and cooperation among their peoples. Queen Leora, King Thaler, and High Sage Irida continued to meet, discussing strategies for maintaining their alliance and deterring future Varnaxian aggression. "We must remain vigilant," Thaler emphasized. "Zarthan will not give up easily." Emperor Zarthan, nursing his wounded pride and plotting revenge, directed his scientists to develop even more devastating weapons. "We must find a way to bypass their defenses entirely," he demanded. His advisors suggested a different approach: psychological warfare. "If we can sow discord among their ranks, we can weaken them from within," one advisor proposed. Zarthan, intrigued by the idea, ordered the development of a covert operation to infiltrate and destabilize the Allied forces. Back on Alaris, the Alarians continued to strengthen their defenses. The Guardian Sphere, now enhanced with Krylorian and Zelfry technology, was nearly impenetrable. The people of Alaris, inspired by their leader's resolve, embraced their allies, forging bonds of friendship and trust. Captain Eric, now a key figure in the alliance, worked closely with Krylorian and Zelfry commanders, sharing tactics and strategies. "We must be ready for anything," he reminded them. The Varnaxians are cunning and relentless. Unbeknownst to the Allies, Varnaxian agents had already begun their infiltration. Disguised as refugees seeking asylum, they slowly integrated into Alarian society, gathering intelligence and waiting for the right moment to strike. The agents spread rumors and misinformation, attempting to sow distrust among the Allies. "Did you hear?" one agent whispered to an Alarian soldier. "The Krylorians are planning to seize control of our defenses." Tensions began to rise as the rumors spread. Small disagreements and misunderstandings escalated, threatening the fragile unity of the alliance. Queen Leora, sensing the growing discord, called for an emergency council meeting. "We must address these issues head-on," she insisted. "Our unity is our greatest strength, and we cannot allow it to be undermined." King Thaler and High Sage Irida agreed, and together they devised a plan to root out the source of the rumors. A task force, led by Captain Eric, was assembled to investigate the origin of the discord. They conducted thorough interrogations and surveillance, slowly uncovering the truth. "The Varnaxians are behind this," Eric reported. "They have infiltrated our society and are trying to weaken us from within." The revelation shocked the Allied leaders, but it also galvanized their resolve. "We will not let them succeed," Leora declared. "We will expose their agents and restore our unity." The task force worked tirelessly, identifying and apprehending the Varnaxian agents. The agents, realizing their cover was blown, attempted to flee but were swiftly captured. Under interrogation, they revealed Zarthan's plans for a renewed assault. "He intends to strike when we are at our weakest," one agent confessed. "But his plans are not yet complete." With the agents neutralized, the alliance's trust was restored. Queen Leora, King Thaler, and High Sage Irida addressed their people, emphasizing the importance of unity and vigilance. "We have faced many challenges," Leora stated, "but together, we will overcome any threat. Our strength lies in our unity." The people of Alaris, Krylor, and Zelphur reaffirmed their commitment to the alliance, their resolve stronger than ever. Emperor Zarthan, furious at the failure of his agents, doubled down on his preparations for a final, all-out assault. "We will crush them once and for all," he vowed. His scientists unveiled their latest creation, the Annihilator, a massive warship armed with devastating weaponry capable of obliterating entire cities. Confident in his new weapon, Zarthan mobilized his fleet for a decisive strike. The Allied forces, now aware of the impending assault, prepared for the battle of their lives. Defensive positions were fortified, and evacuation plans were put in place for the civilian population. "We must protect our people," Leora urged, "but we will not cower in fear. We will meet the Varnaxians head-on and show them the strength of our unity." The stage was set for a final, epic confrontation that would determine the fate of Alaris and the entire galaxy. The day of reckoning arrived as the Varnaxian fleet, led by the colossal Annihilator, appeared on the horizon. The skies darkened with the sheer number of enemy ships, their presence a looming threat. Emperor Zarthan, confident in his impending victory, addressed his forces. "Today, we will crush the Alliance and claim Alaris as our own," he declared. "Show no mercy." The Allied forces, resolute and determined, took their positions. Queen Leora, King Thaler, and High Sage Irida coordinated their strategies, ensuring that every soldier knew their role in the battle to come. The Annihilator fired the first shot, a beam of destructive energy aimed at the Guardian Sphere. The sphere's enhanced energy fields held, but the impact was felt throughout Alaris. "We must disable that ship," Eric urged. "It's our only chance." A daring plan was devised. A combined force of Alarian, Krylorian, and Zelphri operatives would infiltrate the Annihilator and destroy its power core. The team, composed of the best soldiers from each race, embarked on their perilous mission. As the battle raged above Alaris, the infiltration team navigated the chaos to reach the Annihilator. Their skills and determination allowed them to bypass enemy defenses and enter the massive warship. Inside, they encountered fierce resistance. Varnaxian soldiers, aware of the critical nature of their mission, fought with desperation. The Allied team pressed forward, their goal clear: reach the power core and destroy it. The Annihilator's corridors were a maze of danger, but the team's resolve never wavered. They fought their way through, overcoming numerous obstacles and traps. Finally, they reached the chamber housing the power core. "This is it," Eric stated, his voice filled with determination. "We must succeed." The team set explosive charges around the core, their hearts pounding with anticipation. Just as they were about to detonate the charges, a squad of elite Varnaxian soldiers burst into the chamber. "Stop them!" the Varnaxian commander bellowed. A fierce battle erupted, the confined space amplifying the intensity of the conflict. The Allied team fought with everything they had, determined to succeed. With a final, decisive effort, they managed to defeat the Varnaxian soldiers and trigger the explosives. The power core exploded in a blinding flash of light, sending shockwaves throughout the Annihilator. The warship shuddered, its systems failing. "We've done it!" Eric shouted, his voice triumphant. "The Annihilator is disabled." The Allied forces, emboldened by the success of the infiltration team, launched a counteroffensive. The Varnaxian fleet, disoriented by the sudden turn of events, began to falter. Emperor Zarthan, realizing his defeat was imminent, roared in frustration. "This is not over," he vowed, retreating with his remaining forces. The Allied forces celebrated their hard-won victory, but they knew the threat of the Varnaxians still loomed. Queen Leora, King Thaler, and High Sage Irida addressed their people, their voices filled with pride and determination. "Today, we have shown that unity is our greatest strength," Leora proclaimed. "Together, we will continue to defend our homes and our freedom." The bonds forged in the heat of battle grew stronger, creating a foundation for lasting peace and cooperation among their civilizations. The people of Alaris, Krylor, and Zelphur reaffirmed their commitment to the alliance, their resolve stronger than ever. As they began the process of rebuilding, a sense of hope and optimism pervaded the atmosphere. The alliance, having faced and overcome immense challenges, emerged stronger and more united than ever before. In the years that followed, the alliance continued to thrive. Joint ventures in technology, culture, and exploration flourished, creating a new era of prosperity and cooperation. The Varnaxians, now a diminished threat, retreated to their own territory, wary of provoking the united front of the alliance. Emperor Zarthan, nursing his wounded pride, vowed to one day reclaim his lost glory. "We will rise again," he muttered to himself, his eyes filled with determination. But for now, peace reigned. The people of Alaris, Krylor, and Zelphur celebrated their hard-won freedom and the enduring bonds of their alliance. They remained vigilant, ever prepared to defend their homes and their way of life. And as the stars shone brightly above, the galaxy knew that the strength of unity could overcome any challenge, no matter how great. The moral of the story is that unity and cooperation are powerful forces that can overcome even the most formidable challenges. By standing together, sharing strengths, and fostering trust, diverse groups can triumph over adversity and achieve lasting peace and prosperity.